This is the Ecwid Ecommerce Show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard Otey.
Happy Friday, Richie.
What's going on, Jess? Here we are again, flying by.
Yeah, and you know what? The good news today, we're actually back in the studio. It's been a long time, so I get to look at you, not on a Zoom window, actually in person. So
not looking through a camera.
Yeah, yep. So,
which is why actually today we're not going to have this in video. So
yeah, audio only today. Sorry, you don't get to see our unshaven faces.
I'm a little more shaved than normal, though.
Okay, yeah. Crawling out of our holes a little bit, getting out into the world. It is now May of 2021. Kind of with that, the timing is pretty good because you'll have either already seen this or you're going to see this in the next couple days. We have some very cool product announcements. And so today we want to talk about subscriptions and subscription e-commerce, adding subscriptions to your business. So, Rich, I think the idea here we want to get at is there's going to be all sorts of how-tos you're going to see. We're not going to go into the how-to. This is audio only. Yep. We're going to have you think about, should you be adding subscriptions to your business, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing that this is now available, right? Like there's a bunch of people, Ecwid listeners that they might have already hacked subscriptions,
yeah,
or they've been waiting for this day. They kind of knew it was coming, or there's a big bunch of people out there that are probably listening thinking like, I don't know about subscriptions. This podcast is for you and for the people that are already doing it. Like, we want you to think about subscriptions. Like how could you add subscriptions to your business? So,
yeah. And just to make sure, I mean, everyone knows what subscriptions is, but I just want to even take it back a notch. And at its base level, what we're talking about is reoccurring sales, right? So what products do you already sell that you've had some sort of hack that you've worked around that someone has purchased this monthly? Maybe you had to call them again. Maybe you had something set up. I don't know what you were doing in the past, but maybe you've already done this and you've just been waiting for the subscription model. Well, it's here. Yeah. So now at the product level, right, that's what it is, level. Right? At the product level, if you have something that you believe people would want to have monthly, you can now sell it at the product level. And literally, like you said, it's either out right now or out within days. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, we've done a lot of podcasts. You've read a lot about, repeat sales, right? Send an email to your best customers so they purchase again. Okay, great. Yeah, all great advice, by the way. We're not going back on that. But now you can actually get an automatic repeat sale. So they can do, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Like there's a variety of the subscription options available. So, if you can think of it, it's probably in there or we're working on it. But let's think about some of the obvious things first. Let's just, in case you haven't really thought about it. Okay. So obvious things, maybe like a monthly food item, right? Or coffee, so you're a custom coffee shop. You got, you're a particular blend and you want to put that on subscription weekly, monthly, etc. Right? Okay, got it. Makes perfect sense. So there's a bunch of, we'll say, just kind of obvious things, food and consumables, but there's a lot of other things that maybe are not quite as obvious, right? Donations, for instance. We have a lot of nonprofits, right?
That's a good one.
Donations are tough to get, but even more valuable is a regular reoccurring donation, right? Monthly, maybe even annually, right? Depends on your particular needs. Maybe it's a church and you want to have, people want to give weekly, right? That can all be set up inside of Ecwid now. You can actually name your own price too. It doesn't have to be $10 or $100. It can be $3.57.
Oh, wow.
If you want, whatever.
How does it says name your price? Is that what it?
We have a name your price capability.
Oh,
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, just kind of the thought there is think about it. if you're a nonprofit, you've probably thought about this. If you're a church, you've thought about this. But just for a lot of other people listening, that is now possible inside of Ecwid.
Yeah. Well, and we have quite a few that we've had on the show that we can even think of, like prairie bird seed. That could be a good one. Like it doesn't have to be a super fancy product. Like someone goes out and always wants to feed the birds, like why not,
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm sure he's listening, but yeah, like, so for birdseed, right? Like I think his price point was, let's say like $25, $30, something in that. And that's like a pretty big, that's a lot of birdseed, right? So it's going to last a long time. So he wouldn't do a weekly subscription to 25 pounds of birdseed. That's a little ridiculous. But like maybe that's a quarterly subscription, and maybe there's a particular blend that works better at that time of year, right? Like there's a spring blend, summer, winter. I don't know. Maybe there's different birds flying around that I don't know. Clearly, my bird special. I'm not an ornithologist here, but I would guess that there's a special type of seed you can put in there that is better for that type of year.
I'm impressed. An ornithologist, is that a bird watcher?
It's a bird specialist. I pulled that out. There's no notes here.
I saw you have no computer open, no notes.
No,
so.
I did not look up ornithologist. I hope I'm right, by the way. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the idea. So actually, kind of sticking on that example, the thought with subscriptions is how can you make a product slightly different that makes it better for subscriptions, right? So in that example, I don't know if you actually have different blends, but if you could, that makes that product actually better for subscriptions than just buying it on the website. So you want to try to think of how can you provide extra value to your customers. That should always be the goal, by the way. How can you provide value to your customers? But with this product and subscriptions in particular, what makes it a little bit more special so people actually prefer to subscribe, right?
Right, and I'm sure you could do it in various different ways. You're going to have this set up, and again, this is more strategy. We're really just trying to get you to think out of the box of how you could utilize this new feature, because you may have never even thought about this before. So let's think back to this coffee for a moment. Maybe the obvious one is subscribe, get these new flavors each month, and some sort of percentage off, right? Whatever, 7%, 10%, 15%.
Yeah,
like that, I don't know. That's kind of the obvious one that everyone would kind of think about.
Like let's go with the super obvious, right? If you don't know what to do, subscribe and save.
Yeah,
you've seen it on all that's you see it on Amazon. Like I subscribe to have my water filters for my refrigerator sent, right?
Yeah,
and there's nothing special. I just save a little bit and it gets sent to me. Okay, that will work for a bunch of different businesses. So you don't even have to be creative. Subscribe and save. That's the basics.
And then maybe there's something like, now you're getting a little more creative. Maybe I'm literally making this up on the fly. Again, you see no notes here. Maybe they're this coffee company and they want to come up with some new flavored cream. So if you subscribe to their flavor, their coffee of the month, maybe you're going to get a 6-pack of these creamers that normally is a different product, but because you did this, so now maybe you're not offering money off, right? But you're getting another product that they're into, that they like, that someone else might run into at their house, and it's still potentially, it's increasing your brand's awareness of all the different products you have, and it's something different than just offering a discount only. We've seen it time and time again. They test this all the time. Sometimes it's buy one get one free works. Sometimes it's buy two get one 50% off. You never know. You got to test it all out. But we're really just trying to get you to think of different ways that you could package your products and or think about your products where you could get someone to think that this would be worth me subscribing over time.
Yeah, and I think maybe adding on to that, maybe think of your subscribers as your VIP customers, right? This is you know what you're going to make that particular month, quarter, year, however your subscription works. But on the coffee example, yeah, like your VIP customers, your subscribers, they're the only ones that get this particular mix of like isn't there some particular coffee that is like some animals eat the beans and poop it out, and maybe the only way you can get that particular coffee, I didn't make that up. That's a real thing. The only way you can get that coffee is part of the subscription, and you get it once a year, right? Like I don't know the answer, or maybe the member kissed by a bee,
Yep.
Aquila, right? That's the cream for your your elbow and
Psoriasis.
Psoriasis, or yeah. So that's a perfect one for subscriptions already, right? Like if you have a skin cream, you probably need it monthly or bi-monthly or whatever already, but maybe subscribers only get the bee chapstick or something, I don't know,
Yeah.
but you get, how can you make it more special?
Right, exclusivity kind of.
Exclusivity, VIP customer list. Discounts are obvious, right? Like discounts make sense, but how can you make it even better than just a discount, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to go. We're in not philosophy mode, but more strategy mode right now. But if you're really, really thinking out of the box, there's even kind of ways you could even take this to the next level of, let's say. All right, I'm going to back up for a second. Consumables are the obvious, right? They're obvious because you have it this month, it's gone next month. So that makes it. But I want to go down this road that you're talking about with this VIP customer. If you're making something that's exclusive, maybe there's some form of exclusivity that it might not, like maybe you're a band and you're selling merch because you have an Ecwid Ecommerce print on demand store, and now you say, oh man, we're going to start pressing some LPs. People want little records, right? So we're just going to do a couple of these things, and now we're just going to release one song a month, and we're going to press out these things, and we're going to get a new, like, there's literally so many options that we just want you to be thinking about. If someone wants to consume more and more of whatever your product is, this is going to give you the ability to just take your business wide open for increasing the lifetime value of that customer. And kind of, if they had to come and buy it every month, something's going to get in the way. Some form of friction is going to keep them from buying. But if you can get them to subscribe and it just keeps showing up, I think the only way would be if the things start just piling up at their house because they're not using them, that they would stop, right? Wouldn't you think?
I would think so. Yeah, and that's a good problem for you to have. Like, okay, they might cancel the subscription for a little bit, and, you can probably get them back later. But
that's a good problem.
But this is a very good problem to have. And I think that kind of gets back into the why subscriptions, right? I think we maybe didn't really cover that. And to me, it's obvious, right? Like, you want to have a business you want to have predictable income streams. You also need to buy the thing you're shipping, right? So if I know I have like 25 subscribers and I'm going to ship that on the first of the month or thereabout, right? I know ahead of time to buy that extra quantities from my vendor or make it or whatever your business is. You now know it. It's predictable. It makes your processes easy. And the obvious thing is these customers are worth way more to you. So lifetime value is the key.
The numbers out there, they vary a little bit, but they're averaging around 8 times the value of your company when you're selling on a subscription model versus, people randomly buying whenever.
Yeah.
So, even the value of your company goes up because it's a predictable income. Helps everybody believes in it more.
Everything is way better with a subscription. I can tell you that. And now you're going to sacrifice a little margin up front, right? So if you sell a $50 product, right? If you're doing the bird seed, instead of $30, you might have to knock it down to 25, and so you're gonna lose that margin. It's gonna hurt, but you're gonna sell it on a predictable time frame, and you don't have to worry about bringing that customer back so much. You don't have to have the most brilliant email campaign every 3 months. Like you just automatically sold it, and they're gonna be. So yes, these customers are worth way more. It makes your life easier, your business processes simpler, and it makes your business more valuable. So I mean, there's a ton of upside with subscriptions. I mean, I could talk more about it, but like I think hopefully you see that as obvious. If not, reach out to me. We'll we'll convince you one-on-one. But yeah, I think it's taking a look at your own business and thinking, how can I add a product that's on a subscription, right? So the pod a couple months ago, we had 3D Locksport. So the guy that makes the 3D printed kits that hold lock picking tools. Very, very niche, right?
It's about as niche as you get, right?
Yeah.
There.
And actually, we talked after the pod, so this wasn't recorded, but I had mentioned that this subscription thing is coming, and he was like, "Oh, that is awesome! I've been waiting. Like that's going to make a lot of sense." And I'm like, I don't know. Does it make sense, right? Because it's 3D. It's a very particular thing, but he was pumped about it. So if he's pumped about it, and now I'm thinking more about it, like, oh yeah, so he just knows he can print, this particular thing and do like 20 of them and ship them out. It's like, it makes sense now, but at the time I'm like, wow, that it kind of blew my mind. But for you listening, hopefully you can look at your business in the same way, and things that maybe you wouldn't naturally think are subscriptions, maybe they are. I guess that's hopefully that I want you to have that takeaway, is like, really think about it. Maybe you do have a subscription business.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic use case that you bring up there with his Tony, is because think of how niche that market is. I mean, just for a second, let's really think of how creative people really can be. There's a group of people that do lock picking as a sport, and then he makes plastic 3D printed grips and different kits that they can put everything on that actually,
hold the tools, organize
do it
them
in a specific way. But again, to your point of why you understand it in hindsight, it's this market is hungry for new things and hungry for this. So it won't be his whole market, right? But there's going to be a group of people, and I can totally see in hindsight too, because it's one of those things. So whoever you are listening out there, whether it's Labradors, if someone's into it, they want the calendars, they want the books, they want the stuffies, they want, like when someone's into something, they want anything and everything they can get about it. So maybe it's varying your product a little from month to month that gets them to do it. Maybe it's getting a new flavor of something once a month. Maybe you create things and you're going to do a limited supply, and you're only going to, maybe you only sell it for 10 people and then it's out of stock. Like, I don't know, but just open your mind and think. We've discussed it over and over again. There's 3 ways to grow your business. You get new customers, you get those customers to come back, and you get them to spend more. With a subscription model, there's a chance that you're doing all 3, but definitely getting them to come back. So I'm super excited for Ecwid customers on this. This is awesome.
Yeah, and by the way, this has been our #1 requested feature for a very long time. So all the people, and then people complained when it didn't get made right away, and it happens to be kind of hard. Just FYI, everybody, we finally made it though. So, it's ready. And I think for, again, there's some people that it might make perfect sense, but I think there's a lot of people that, if even 10%, 15% of your sales came from subscriptions, that's like an automatic It's automatic revenue for next month, the month after, and so on and so forth. So it just allows your business to grow so much faster, even though you might be thinking, oh, it's only 10%, 15%, but you don't have to replace those customers every single month. The rest of your customers, they might be coming and going. They might buy once here. They might buy once, period, right? That happens a lot. Or they might buy once every, might buy every 2 or 3 years. That's fairly common. But now you have these super customers, VIP group, that they're now buying. I'm going to use every month, but it could be, again, any type of interval. That's automatic business, automatic revenue. You don't have to, you don't have to remarket to them. You don't have to spend money on ads. You don't have to find the best email campaigns, all that stuff, right? So hopefully that excites you, that this is really going to take your business to another level. And hopefully you're thinking of there's some creative solutions out there too. Like we have, we have people that do services, right? Like, it could be memberships, right? It could be, again, we already talked about donations. Kind of the sky's the limit, right? Like I don't want to, if that doesn't work for your business, it's not going to work for you. But anything that you need recurring revenue for, there's a lot of like artists, right? So you want a digital download of the latest design, right? Like maybe you sell these designs on Etsy, right? And people print them out and, it's only a couple bucks. But now if you get them on a monthly subscription where they get the digital file, which costs you nothing to reproduce, a couple bucks a month across 100 different customers, that's going to add up. So, I mean, I'm trying to help you. Again, the art, there's no notes on this one here. It's just you make this print, but if maybe somebody wants to subscribe to that artwork and they get it monthly and, so again, kind of sky's the limit. Try not to limit your thinking on, my business isn't really going to work for subscription. Some of you, that might be the case. Not everything works on a subscription, but, kind of dig deep. I don't know.
No, it's great. I mean, it's a great point. The bottom line is this: if you think someone's going to need to have purchased this more than once, like, it's worthwhile thinking about subscriptions. You sell jacuzzis, they're probably just going to need one. You sell lit fireplace, things that go in your backyard, they're probably just going to need one.
Yeah.
Right. But every other product, from T-shirt of the month to certain vitamins and supplements to
T-shirt of the month is a thing, right? Like that's not, you wouldn't think that would be, but like, actually my new boss subscribes to a T-shirt of the month thing, right? Sock of the month club, right? Underwear, like those are now subscription things that exist. And then like you get the makeup kits, the Birchbox and the things that, once it gets going too, people are send you the products for free to get people to try them. Right. So, once you have that regular recurring customer base, the magic happens, I guess.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the idea of this podcast here was to get you into a little dream space here and think about how you could, maybe not radically change your business, but add a component that would unlock some recurring revenue for you, and probably do a lot more for you. And for the people that are been waiting, they're like, yeah, okay, I got it. I understand subscriptions. I've been hacking my your payment gateway, because you can kind of do it through your payment gateway, but it's a little painful. Now this is like it's built into the control panel. So.
Yeah, once they heard it was on, they stopped listening to the podcast and just went and started setting it up.
Yeah, they're
Those
like,
guys.
Yeah. So hopefully we didn't bore you with trying to convince you because you're already doing it. Now we mentioned that this is probably already released by the time you're hearing this. So if you want to learn how to do it, there are already some videos on it. You can check those out in multiple places. You probably already have it in the newsletter, in your email. It's going to be in the blog. So ecwid.com/blog. Just look for the subscriptions. We're going to have a long blog post on that. We have a whole new video team that's making how-to videos on how to set this up. So this is audio only. I'm not going to walk you through the different places to click. But it's all out there. The education is there. I really think this is something for a lot of people to take advantage of. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments too, that what did you add to your business? Like what twist on this did you take, right? Particularly if it's not obvious, right? If you sell coffee, I get it. You're going to do subscriptions. But if you sell something a little more obscure, how did you package that into a subscription or VIP model? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and eventually we'd love to have you on the show. Somebody who's using this down the road, so get inspired and just know if you want to promote your business, we always love having Ecwid users on the show. And as always, if they go to ecwid.com/podcast and scroll down, you'll be able to fill out a small form and be able to get on the show and let us know what you're up to.
Absolutely. We miss having guests, and particularly with the subscription thing. I want to learn more from the guests, right? And share that with everybody. And, maybe you get some subscribers to your new subscription product. So, all right, everybody. I hope this is helpful. I hope your head is spinning with some new ideas. We'd love to hear from you. RichE, any last thoughts?
No, I think it's just time to get people out there and start watching those videos and get this hooked up and making some extra money.
All right, you know what to do. Get out there and make it happen.